Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Battlefield 6 Open Beta Weekend number 2 is coming up here in just a day's time. Of course, the hype is yet again going full steam ahead. The first beta weekend was a massive success for Battlefield 6, and the beta weekend 2 looks to be even bigger, quite literally, as we're getting more content, more things to check out. There are a couple of updates you want to be aware of for the second beta weekend, and today I'm breaking down everything you need to know. So for beta weekend 2, this is of course kicking off on August 14th. The beta itself is going to go fully live at 1 a.m. Pacific time, 4 a.m. Eastern time on August 14th. So if you're waking up super early to play this a little bit before you head on into work or school, or if you're looking forward to waking up at a normal time and jumping on, you'll be able to do so. Obviously, going off of last week's experience, expect very high, queue lines, especially if you're jumping on right when those servers are going live super early on in the morning or very early on into the day. That's typically where the queue lines are going to be the longest, and you'll have to wait the longest in that server queue to actually get into some gameplay. And there's basically going to be that queue the entirety of this beta weekend. It's just a matter of, will it take 2 minutes to get through, or will it take 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on which time of day you're jumping on, of course. But early start time, yet again, 1 a.m. Pacific time on the 14th. Now, beta weekend 2 is offering more content than beta weekend 1 across the board. We still have everything that we experienced in beta weekend 1. We'll be able to play for maps, Iberian Offensive, Liberation Peak, the Siege of Cairo. For modes, we'll be able to play Conquest, Closed Weapon Conquest, Breakthrough Domination, and King of the Hill. However, for weekend 2, they're expanding it. So in addition to all the weekend 1 maps, we're going to see Empire State debut as a map as well. I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. And for modes, we'll have all those week 1 modes with the additions of Rush, Squad Deathmatch, and even more, they say, as well. So we can expect a few other content pieces there to check out that'll be entirely new. So if you played beta weekend 1, you felt like you got the full experience there will be some new things to check out in weekend 2. And if you didn't play weekend 1, you get a much broader experience here with even more stuff to fully check out as you're ranking up, checking out the new guns, unlocking some new things as you approach level 20. Now, speaking of ranking up, leveling up your weapons, getting things unlocked, as you're going through and doing all of that this weekend as well, there are some new exclusive rewards to check out for weekend 2. Battlefield did mention if you did not play weekend 1, or if you didn't complete all of the reward challenges in weekend 1, those will be fully available to still do this weekend as well. So you can earn all of the beta exclusive rewards this weekend, the 14th through the 17th. So that includes the weekend 1 Seeker Soldier skin, the all-terrain soldier skin, the Dominion weapon package, the lights out player card background, and then some of the minor stuff like the weapon charms and the emblems and whatnot. And then for weekend 2, this weekend specifically, we've got the War Machine vehicle skin, we've got the Bat Company dog tag, and then we also have the striking distance weapon package fully available. So there's different challenges for each of these throughout the challenges menu you can go through and complete. Most of them are going to be pretty straightforward. A lot of them you'll just do naturally by playing the game, leveling up and unlocking things there. But if you want to get the full beta experience and get all of these exclusive rewards for the launch of Battlefield 6, they're going to be fully available this entire weekend, but only for this weekend. Obviously, once the beta concludes, this content's going to be locked away and will no longer be available to Battlefield 6 players to earn. And by the way, as we are going through all the beta number 2 details here, everything you need to look out for, if you guys enjoy the video, you find the information helpful, a like rating is always really appreciated. It really does help grow the channel, and share the video around to new viewers. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support on the Battlefield content thus far. It's really, really cool to see. And of course, if you're new to the channel, you want to stay informed with all the main things going on for Battlefield 6, I got you covered right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, and help get us one step closer to reaching 1 million subscribers. Now, another thing you may want to note for weekend 2 is that there is actually a difference depending on what platform you're playing on with your beta experience. As it was discovered in weekend 1, the Battlefield 6 beta has 2 exclusive content rewards for PlayStation 5 players. There's a skin that you can use in game at launch. There's also a double XP boost added after every match. So if you're just jumping on for the very first time, you feel like maybe you're a little bit behind in terms of level, you're trying to experience some of the new guns that aren't unlocked until some of those later stages. If you're playing on PlayStation 5, you can actually go through and level up a decent bit quicker than if you were playing on Xbox or PC. One thing I did notice throughout my experience in weekend 1 was that with weapon levels and going through those, I was flying through guns. As you're getting kills, you're playing the objective, all that XP counting towards your guns, you rank up through your weapon levels pretty fast. However, your player level, your operator XP, that seemed to go by much slower. Even if you were getting a ton of score per game, it felt like you were leveling up a lot slower there versus weapons. So if you're a PlayStation 5 player, you can take advantage of that double XP boost there, and of course get some bonus skins there as well, just for PlayStation players. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of platform exclusive rewards. Call of Duty actually just got rid of these not too long ago, and I think that was really good over there. Bit bummed that we're seeing this in the beta here, but hopefully it's nothing too impactful. Skins at the end of the day won't be a game breaker, I think, for a lot of players, but there is some bonus content out there and bonus experiences, if you will, for PlayStation players in specific. Now, let's talk a little bit about Beta Weekend 2 as an actual update and as an actual build, because we have some interesting details with this as it stands. Frederick Drabert, hopefully I'm saying his name right, one of the game designers at DICE, did mention that for Beta Weekend 2, it's going to be the same build that we played back in Beta Weekend 1. So this would presumably mean that as far as, balancing changes, things of that nature, those won't be present in Beta Weekend 2. It'll be the same raw experience that we had back in Weekend 1. So this means no, adjustments to the shotgun or anything like that, no changes to how any mechanics are working. It's going to be the same gameplay, the same design, the same features of Weekend 1 there, basically 1-to-1 essentially. However, that doesn't mean there are no updates for Weekend 2, because Battlefield Bulletin did actually post saying there is a new update that you can currently already download for the Battlefield 6 open beta. So if you want to get out ahead of this, make sure your game is fully ready for when those servers turn on. It's like 3 gigs on Steam, 4 gigs on the EA app, really small on Xbox and PlayStation, just a few hundred megs there. This, in all likelihood, is probably just the Weekend 2 content here. New map, new modes being added in via the download, and nothing beyond that. No patch notes, balancing changes, as mentioned, if it's the exact same build here. So for those expecting changes in how weapons are going to feel, how certain things will be working, specific bugs or glitches getting fixed, it doesn't seem like that is something they're going to be doing for Weekend 2. It's not impossible, and of course, if they do drop any change notes or patch notes here, I'll be covering them when they surface, so stay tuned for that. Well, what do you know? Post-edit Zach here, because they have actually gone through and detailed a few changes coming with the Week 2 beta, largely concerning the playlist and how some of the things are going to work here. It's not like specific gameplay details, but here is the new communication update and blog post they dropped today. They talk about playlist adjustments. They say, during Week 2, we are delivering more variety and choice for how you'd like to play, with more playlists rotating between multiple different game modes. As an example, the All-Out Warfare playlist will include both Breakthrough, Conquest, and Rush. The in-game descriptions for each mode will tell you which modes are included in the rotation. Rotating through multiple modes within playlists helps us understand what our community enjoys as we shape the launch experience, and enables us to have more fan favorite modes available at all times. They also are introducing the custom search options, which is kind of interesting here. They say, based on your previous feedback and to give you more control over map and mode selection, we are introducing a new feature called custom search. This feature allows you to choose your favorite combinations of maps and modes. For example, if you want to play Conquest on Siege of Cairo, then matchmaking will prioritize putting you in a match with that combination if available. Note that this is not a server browser, and that's not being tested this week, just as a PSA. They say during the open beta, custom search will be available for open weapon mode playlists, so you can mix and match maps and modes as you prefer. They also give us a Weekend 2 playlist overview here, saying this is exactly what it's going to look like on day 1, Thursday the 14th. We're going to have Conquest, Rush, Attack and Defend, which is Breakthrough and Rush, Close Quarters, which is the fast-paced playlist on the smaller maps with Domination and King of the Hill, then the Closed Weapons All-Out Warfare, which is Conquest and Breakthrough. On day 2, Friday the 15th, we're going to have Conquest, Squad Deathmatch, Close Quarters, fast-paced playlist on smaller maps with Domination, King of the Hill, and Squad Deathmatch, All-Out Warfare, epic battles across expansive maps with Conquest, Breakthrough, and Rush, and then Closed Weapons All-Out Warfare with Conquest and Breakthrough. And then on days 3 and 4, which is Saturday and Sunday, we'll have Conquest, Close Quarters, fast-paced playlist on smaller maps with Domination, King of the Hill, and Squad Deathmatch, All-Out Warfare with Conquest, Breakthrough, and Rush, and then Closed Weapons All-Out Warfare as well. Rotating through these playlists daily is specific for the open beta, while we're still able to test and gather feedback, and is not planned for launch. Then they also give us a few other details to note. They say training grounds will continue to offer the firing range and gameplay introductions for classes, breakthrough, and conquest. Players at career rank 15 and below can access initiation mode, which includes AI soldiers. This initiation experience is tailored for new players and will shift from breakthrough to conquest. Separately, there will be a non-playable introduction to rush as well. Thanks for the feedback and enthusiasm over the weekend. We look forward to seeing you back on the battlefield. So some cool added details for this weekend's update as well. And then, I had mentioned it back at the start of the video talking about server queues, but the player count in weekend 1 went absolutely insane, getting over 500,000 users just on Steam. That actually passes Call of Duty's peak player count on Steam, which is pretty crazy that that game's had multiple titles counting for it. Battlefield 6 was simply the beta, and it's achieving player counts like that. It's expected that weekend 2 is going to do the same, if not exceed that number even more, with all the hype surrounding this game and of course the new content availability and everything. So if you are looking to play, definitely plan out some time ahead of time that you're going to be sitting in a server queue when you're jumping on, especially if you're jumping on during those prime hours, early morning, midday. If there's any kind of updates or server maintenance like there was before, potentially that could knock players out to the main menu, and then there's a much longer server queue. So be on the lookout for that, be aware of that. But hopefully weekend 2 is as exciting, as intriguing as weekend 1 was. I could not get enough of this game during that first weekend, and I'm very much so looking forward to going through and grinding out way too many hours over the next couple of days as well. That is going to wrap things up for this video though. If you guys enjoyed it, you found it helpful, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.